I made it very, very clear. We will, in government, as in opposition, protect any community that's under any threat of any sort. We will support the necessary funding to protect synagogues, protect temples and protect mosques. We will protect the cemeteries also. We will not allow anti-Semitism in any form in our society.
All right, well, that was Jeremy Corbyn defending his position against recent accusations that his Labour Party has not dealt properly with anti-Semitism in its ranks. Well, still with us, Rosalind Mathieson, Bloomberg Executive Editor for International Government, and Willem Sells of HSBC Private Banking. So thank you for sticking around. Ros, December 12th will be around the corner. We have the policies, then we'll have the interviews. We had head-to-head debates. When do we really know which polls you can trust and if the polls are showing any changes?
Well, that's the big question, because polling, as we know, is increasingly viewed as tricky and sometimes unreliable. I mean, most polls are still showing that the Tories remain about 10 to 15 points in front, and there'll be a key poll out tonight from YouGov, which of course was the one that called it correctly back in 2017. That will be a closely watched poll to show if those other polls, in fact, are also tracking correctly. But because tactical voting is going to be such a key thing in this election, we're seeing a lot of people voting for a third party in order to stymie another party. It's very unclear from the polls how that might play out. So these polls are showing right now that Boris Johnson will get back in, and perhaps with a majority, which is what he needs. But we cannot be sure. Right now, everything possibly is on the table, including a hung parliament.
How difficult is it to understand what people will vote on December 12th? Is it 80% about Brexit, or is it also about some of the policies that actually we saw in the leaflets?
Well, one thing that's very clearly coming through is for a lot of people voting this election, it's about domestic issues. In fact, Jeremy Corbyn's trying not to campaign on Brexit at all. Boris Johnson is saying everything else depends on Brexit happening first. But for ordinary people, it's very clear what they care about is reforms of the health service, education, jobs, action on crime, very much bread and butter issues. And a lot of the campaign stuff that you're seeing come through your letterbox doesn't mention Brexit. All it talks about is domestic issues and how your local candidate's going to work to help things get better on that front. So that's probably the key area.